Hi there. This video is going to be on the Algebra 2 topic, K5, which is dividing polynomials using synthetic division. Now this is supposed to follow the video on K4. So in K4 we used long division. Now this is called synthetic division, and it's kind of like a shortcut if you've been struggling with the long division, and synthetic usually means created by man or combined. So we're going to see how this can actually be more helpful. It's kind of like a shortcut to doing long division with polynomials. All right, so first I'm going to show you this by long division, and then I'm going to show you how we can shorten the process using synthetic division. So for long division, we would take the polynomial and put it underneath. That's called the dividend, x squared plus 20x plus 19. And then what we're dividing it by is called your divisor. So the divisor is x plus 1. Okay, so what we're going to do, excuse me, what we're going to do is we're going to see how many times does x go into this. Well, x times x would make it x squared. So we're going to take away x squared. And then x times 1x would be positive 1x, or just x. And then we need to subtract that from our dividend. So this would be 0, x squared minus x squared, and then 20x minus x would be positive 19x. So you have positive 19x still. And then we never touched, we're still left with this positive 19. Okay, now how many times, let's use another color. How many times does x go into 19x? Well, it goes in 19 times, right? So if I added 19 here, 19 times x would give us 19x. And 19 times 1 gives us 19. So if I'm taking this whole thing away, well, you can see that 19x minus 19x, 19 minus 19, there's going to be a remainder of 0. So this is my answer. Now let me show you how to do that with synthetic division, okay? So synthetic division is a pretty cool process. What you basically do is you take this value in the divisor, the value that's with the x, and you think, what would I plug in to make it equal to 0? So instead of putting a positive 1, I'm going to put a negative 1. That negative 1 is going to become the basis of your division, okay? Now what I do with these values right here is I use the coefficients, and I put the coefficients next to the negative 1. So my first coefficient is what's in front of the x squared. Well, there's no number, so it's just a 1 value. My second coefficient is a 20, and my third coefficient, just the constant, is 19. So the numbers I'm going to write here are 1, 20, and 19. And what I'm going to do is you always take this first value and you bring it down. Then you multiply this value that ends up down here times the divisor, and you put that answer right here. So 1 times negative 1 is negative 1. Then you subtract. 20 minus 1 is 19. 19 times negative 1 is negative 19. And then here you see 19 minus 19 is 0. Okay? So as you can see, there's a lot of similarities between synthetic division and long division. Notice that this negative 1 is because we kept subtracting here, right? We were subtracting here. We were subtracting here. That's why this positive 1 becomes a negative 1. And then when we're just bringing this down, what we're doing is we're doing this step, right? We're bringing down 19x plus 19. We're bringing down the remainder of 0. So this represents what you would get here, right? If you'll notice, this x value, the 1x, that's what this number represents here. This is the 1x. This 19, right, the positive 19 right here, that's represented by this, right? That's the 19. So your answer is x plus 19. So you can do that just by using synthetic division. Just notice that here the term was x squared, right? So here your term is going to be 1 degree lower. Let's do another example where we just use synthetic division and not long division, and you'll see how simple it is. All right, so this is our divisor. So we're going to have -3 as the number we're starting off with. And then we're going to put our coefficients as the values that we're going to be using in our synthetic division. So we have 1 for the x squared, 10 for the x, and 24 for the constant. So let's bring down the 1. Here, let's do this with a different color. So we'll bring down the 1. 1 times -3 is -3. 10 minus 3 is 7. 7 times -3 is -21. And then we're going to have a remainder of 3. So since this had x squared, right, this is 1x. Since there's our x, then this value is our constant, 7. And then this is our remainder. So this is 3 divided by whatever the divisor was. So this is 3 divided by x plus 3. Let's go ahead and put that in here. Remember, it says write your answer in this form. This is similar to the long division form we were using. So our form is x plus 7 plus, and then the fraction with the remainder in it. 3 divided by x plus 3. Okay, let's try one more with synthetic division now that this one has 4 terms in it. So we have our divisor. Remember to make it negative. Let's make that a little straighter. And then we'll put our coefficients of our dividend. So x cubed, that's just 1x cubed. This is -13x squared. This is positive 4x. And this is positive 18 is the constant. Okay, see if you can do it one step ahead of me. What do we do first? Bring down the 1. Then we multiply it times the -1. 1 times -1 is -1. Subtract these. -14. -14 times -1 is 14. 14 plus 4 is 18. 18 times -1 is -18. And what's going to happen when you combine these? That's right, there's a remainder of 0. All right, so let's go ahead and make sure that we know what each of these terms is. Since we started off with x to the 3rd power, this is going to be 1x squared plus minus 14x plus 18. And there's a remainder of 0. Let's go ahead and write that in here. 1x squared is just x squared minus 14x plus 18. And a remainder of 0 means we don't have to put anything there. Nice. All right, let's jump ahead a little bit. This looks similar. This looks similar. Oh, there's one difference in this problem, so let's go over this problem, okay? All right. So see if you can look at this problem and see what's a little bit different about it. I'll give you a hint. It's not anything to do with the divisor. It has to do with something in the dividend. Do you see what it is? I think you'll see as we go through it. So -4 is going to be the number that we're using. to divide. And let's write the coefficients. So the x cubed term is the 1. The x squared term is a 2. And if you caught it, here's actually where the difference is. There's no x term, right? There's x cubed, there's x squared, but there's no x to the first power, just x. It just skips right to the constant. So what we need to do is we need to put a 0 as a placeholder here for the x term. Then we put our negative 29 as our constant. Okay, so don't forget that. That's the most common mistake people make with synthetic division. You have x to the third power, x to the second power. There's no x to the first power, so we have to put this 0 in that place. Okay, now let's go ahead and do our synthetic division. Bring down the 1. 1 times negative 4 is negative 4. 2 minus 4 is negative 2. Negative 2 times negative 4 is positive 8. 0 and 8, still positive 8. 8 times negative 4 is negative 32. And if we put these together, we would get negative 61. Remember, that's our remainder. We start off with an x cubed, so this term is our x squared, so that would be 1x squared minus 2x plus 8 with a remainder of negative 61. And that negative 61 is being divided by x plus 4. Okay, there's only one difference in this one that you have to be wary of. Here, it's just written in a different form, right? So I like to remember the phrase, top dog gets the house, right? Whatever the numerator is goes inside of the division sign. The top dog gets the house. So if you wanted to rewrite this, you would have the negative 4 outside, and then all the coefficients on the inside. 1, oh, sorry. We are doing synthetic division, not long division. And we like to show that by writing this way. So the first coefficient's a 1, then a 9, then a 12, then a negative 28, then a positive 8, followed by a negative 32. Right? So same thing, go step by step.